Today's show is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with the advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. Podgo, that's where the pods go.
Hello and welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Hello. My name is Russ, and along with me, as always, is Kyle and Michelle. And we are moving into part 2 of our series on Women Who Rock, which is pretty sweet. And I don't know if you saw this on our social media or not, but I posted a picture of Michelle on our social media yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, and it got way more likes on Facebook than anything that I've posted. So I think going forward, our Facebook is just going to become portraits of Michelle to get the likes. You know?
Okay.
And then I sent Michelle a text. And I pointed out to her that the day before her on our Instagram, I posted a picture of Billie Holiday, and it got like 11 or 12 likes. And then I posted a picture of Michelle, and it got like 20 likes. And I was like, so does this make you twice as cool as Billie Holiday?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Social media doesn't lie, man.
Yeah. Join us next week when we talk about social media lying. It's us off. So anyways, other things that went on this week. As always, we put up a new YouTube video on Thursday. This one was kind of like a niche of a niche because Nick Mason, the drummer for Pink Floyd, has a side project where he goes out on the road and does not just Pink Floyd songs, but specific era, like pre-Dark Side of the Moon Pink Floyd songs. And if anybody's watched our series of YouTube videos, they'll see that I'm pretty judgy when it comes to like live versions and stuff. And the Nick Mason live album is fantastic. Like even if you like pre-Dark Side of the Moon Pink Floyd, it's awesome. And if you don't know that era and you like kind of want to dabble in it, it's a great gateway to like the rest of that material. So anyways, we put that up, and so anybody who wants to can always go to our YouTube channel.
Did you get to go to that show before the shutdown?
I did not, and I was real bummed. It's literally the only time anyone who's ever been in Pink Floyd has been in Detroit in concert, and I didn't get to go to the show.
Wait, you didn't get to go because of COVID, or didn't get to go because...
It's a whole thing where I didn't, I was out of town for work.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
But... you know, I have his contact information. When we interviewed Guy Pratt, he, off air after the interview was over, made it clear that I can reach out to him to get like tickets and stuff when they do come back after the pandemic. So,
sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, like that could turn out
bubble.
to be, yeah, that could be, yeah. Go in a bubble and listen to Pink Floyd stuff. So anyways, that has been really cool. The YouTube channel continues to grow, and it's been awesome. And we have a whole list of videos planned for the channel. Glowing or not, Michelle's going to be involved.
Can we
eventually.
do a TikTok dance?
No, but if you want,
right answer.
I keep meaning to talk to you about this. You can start a TikTok for the podcast. That would be awesome because a lot of people get a ton of exposure for their podcasts on TikTok, but I ain't going to start that channel. So that's going to be entirely up to you.
She just likes watching it. She would have no idea what the hell to even put on there.
Right. So wait a minute. So you're saying Michelle kind of likes to be involved, but not really contribute? I wouldn't know what that's like.
I like to put my ideas out there and then not do anything to follow up on them.
Right.
Have you seen that Tupperware one?
Okay, we'll talk about TikTok later.
But that's a podcast they record. We could just record this and put it on TikTok.
Remember when we started the podcast and I said, and I want to start a YouTube channel and we could put the recordings of the show? Your exact response in the group chat was hard pass on putting my face on the internet.
Oh, yeah. No, like I would put a bag over my head.
So we're going to move on now from TikTok.
Jesus Christ.
Holy cow. We do have a lot of feedback to share, which is, I was kind of wondering if we were going to get a lot of feedback because when you do like a two-parter, and especially something like this, I didn't know if people were going to be like, well, I'm going to wait till it's over to judge, you know, but no, we have people judged right off the bat, which is great.
Feedback, John.
Don't worry about that. Right. Where's rock and roll be without feedback?
So the first piece of feedback that we had was actually kind of funny. It was about the music that you had for your Jammy Jams last week, Michelle. And it says, I have to support Michelle on the Emo Forever playlist. I'll always listen to that music even when I'm not sad.
Heck yeah.
Also, and this is for me, thank you for mentioning Leslie Gore. She is a badass lesbian who advocated for LGBT rights, which is absolutely true. I kind of mentioned that. Like, she absolutely could have gone on to as big or like a continued career in music, but made a choice to use her position to advocate for rights, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
Then we also got, I can't wait to hear who else makes it this week. I'm on a complete Wanda Jackson kick. The music is still 100% relevant today and could be on the charts. So that was cool. And then I kind of put out halfway through the week, like, hey, if you've listened to the episode, who haven't we mentioned yet that you would like to be mentioned? And some of these I think are going to be on our list and some might not. So I kind of thought I'd just include them all. Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries got to mention. Pat Benatar and Joan Jett both got a couple of mentions. I'm not like a huge fan of either, but I respect them. Like I know.
Dolores is on my list.
Right on. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later and the hows and whys of it. And then we got some doubles that we already mentioned. Ann Wilson. Lita Ford is one that I always forget because I mean she was part of the Runaways, like with Joan Jett, and then of course she had like a big solo career in the late 80s and early 90s. And like, again, her music's not my thing, but broke a lot of barriers and whatnot. So definitely qualifies. Lady Gaga got a call out. Lizzie Hale is one that I don't think of.
That's on my list.
Yeah, she's modern. We can get into more of why. Another more modern one is I would bet this is on your list too, Amy Lee.
Yep, also on my list.
And then another mention for Pat Benatar and the Ladies from Heart. One thing, and I'm going to show this to you guys while you're in the studio, that I thought was awesome was someone tagged us in this post on Instagram showing that they had bought the new Kings of Leon, and I'm actually not sure what the other record is, but it says, took a page out of the Infectious Groove podcast and went and bought 2 physical copies of our albums that I wanted to support artists that I love, which is awesome.
Yes.
Like, there's the 2 biggest compliments we can get is, oh, wow, I love, listening to music again because of you guys, or I supported an artist because of you guys. Like, that's the 2 biggest compliments I think we can get, in my opinion. Or Michelle is beautiful.
Yeah, she's great. She's the best on the show. Yeah, I hear that all the time.
Yep. We'll get there. We'll cover that. We have, and actually, Chicago Mike gave us a voicemail that we'll get to in a little bit, which was great, but he also sent us a tweet that said, and I don't know if you know this because I didn't, if you are a Brittany Howard fan, check out her first solo album under the name Thunder Bitch.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. So
what a great name.
Yeah, I know. Fantastic. We got another interaction from Twitter that says the Women That Rocks episode was fantastic. Can't wait for part 2. I hope Aretha Franklin makes the cut. She is a badass. And of course, Aretha's going to make the cut. So that is a little bit of what we got. And then personal interaction this week. I had 2 separate people while talking to them on the phone were like talking about how frustrated and angry they get with Michelle, as they do. And then,
I hear that from a lot of people, like not even about the podcast.
I know.
In my real life.
That's mind-boggling.
Accurate.
And then both people said exactly this to me in independent conversations. Yeah, Michelle's the whole reason I listen to the show. Wait, that's not how I meant that.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's that.
That's why you keep me around, man.
Right, exactly. It's literally the only reason.
Hey, that Spotify playlist isn't going to make it so.
Right, yeah. Nobody else could click buttons.
I know, right? It's so hard.
And then, so this is cool. So a couple weeks ago, we've been pushing the voicemail feature that we have now where you can directly text us or leave us voicemail. And it's cool for us because, like, when you ask me questions on the spot and I happen to not know, if a listener knows, then they can help us out. So last week I had mentioned that Stevie Nicks' Stand Back Prince played the keys on, and you asked if she had, I'm sorry. And then I had also mentioned that a lot of people don't know that he gave her Purple Rain, and she said, no, that's for you. And you asked if she'd ever done Purple Rain, and I said I couldn't tell you for sure, but we have a listener in Chicago that I know is like the world's foremost authority on Stevie Nicks, and he, in fact, reached out and left us a voicemail, so we'll play that for you now.
Hey, Infectious Groove Podcast. It's Mike from Chicago. The answer to your question, Stevie Nicks has never covered Purple Rain, but the story kind of started with Stevie and her husband. She was married very briefly. We're driving around listening to Little Red Corvette on the radio, and Stevie starts singing Stand Back kind of in the undercurrent of the song, and pulls over and buys a tape recorder, and instead of celebrating their nuptials, her husband and her kind of write Stand Back and get inspired by Little Red Corvette. And then she obviously called Prince. Prince came down to the studio, played the keys, was there for an hour, and left. And I believe the story is he kind of left her like a little spirit because he just kind of came in, did his thing, and left. But did offer the song to Stevie, Purple Rain, and she did decline, like Russ said. But she's never covered it. Never covered it in a set list, never covered it live. It would have been a completely different rendition and version of that song. But there you go. Keep it up. You guys rock. Thanks. Oh, also, speaking of women who rock, let's not forget about Bonnie Raitt and Patti Smith. See ya.
Two great call-outs, and one of those two I have on my list that I want to go into. But the thing with Purple Rain, like I thought maybe she had covered it at some point, but no. And the thing with Stand Back, I feel like, oh no, I'm sure she could if she wanted to. I feel like the thing with Stand Back, I probably have heard that story about how her and her husband heard Little Red Corvette and that inspired the song, and then she in turn got Prince involved, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So anyways, I thought that was really cool that you had a question, I wasn't quite sure, and a listener was able to answer it in detail. Yeah. Which is rad. So that is all of the feedback. Kyle, unless you just have like general grievances you want to air for Michelle, any feedback you'd like to give her?
Tread lightly, man.
Kyle looks like a man who wants to live through the day, so we will move on. Our jammies. For my Jammy Jams, I have one song that's not my Jammy Jam, but it's just stuck in my head. And
What song I hate?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's literally just never been my jam, but it's been stuck in my head all week. Which is in 1990 there was the epitome of a hairband. Like if I showed you a picture of these guys, you'd be like hairband. You know, they were called Steelheart, and they had a ballad that was I think their only hit called "I'll Never Let You Go." Some people call it "Angel Eyes," and like it's not a bad song by any means. It's just not. It's not my jam. And for some reason, I've had it stuck in my head this whole week. It's not even like I listened to it a ton back then. I never saw Steelheart in concert. Like you know what I mean? Like there's no reason why this song should be stuck in my head. I don't understand. I'm hoping that mentioning it in the segment will exorcise the demon.
Oh, is that how this works?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And then a song that I do love that I have no idea why this got stuck in my head, but Yankee Rose by David Lee Roth. I just adore that song. And this entire week I've had different sections of it pop into my head randomly. So I've been listening to that a ton. And then the other one, this is definitely like hairband territory, but just a fantastic record. And I've talked to you guys before about how a lot of those bands, their much better material is like when no one cared about that genre anymore. So the band Winger, their first two records are pretty much, it's like Mumford & Sons where it's like they're interchangeable. It's like the same album twice in a row.
Was Winger the one that was like a Christian thing? No. Who am I thinking of?
Many Christian bands. The only Christian rock band that ever pops into my head I wouldn't know is Petra. I wouldn't know how you would know.
Who am I thinking of? Oh, boy.
Collective Soul was sometimes Creed, even when they launched, people said was a Christian rock band.
I was thinking like a hair metal Christian
You want to do a whole segment where I just name bands? And you tell me
not that one. I'm thinking of.
Just an hour of you. No. So Winger, by the way, Winger, whose first and biggest hit was called "She's Only 17," not a Christian rock band.
Well, she could be 17.
Yeah. No.
All God's children.
Right. But their first two records are just the epitome of hair metal. Like, She's Only 17, and then their third album came out in 1993 and it's called Pull, and it's just totally like it's not even like the sellout record like, oh look, Winger's grunge now, it's not a grunge record by any means, but it's just song structure wise, the topics of the song, there's not a song that comes anywhere near the whole "She's Only 17," like it's very like more serious songs, and it's just a fantastic album, and it's not earth shaking. No one's going to go listen to it and be like, oh my god, Winger's the greatest band ever, but it's way better than what they're known for, so.
Wait, is it Dokken?
Dokken, also not a Christian band.
Oh,
I'm gonna go.
The band who one of their most famous singles was the lead single for the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 movie. Not a Christian band.
Are you saying that horror movies are not Christian?
Yes.
Okay.
The movie about the child molester who gets burned to death and then comes back to haunt kids in their dreams. Not a Christian film.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. I know. A lot of people.
I'm just making this up.
I know a lot of people think that the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are Christian propaganda, but it turns out they're not. It's crazy. So now, Kyle, we finished with my questioning section of our Jammy Jams. Now we're going to move on to you, where you'll be like, well, I was listening to this. Who's that by? Well, it's by this artist. Oh, is it new? So, Kyle, I turn the questioning over to you. your jammy jams, please.
Only a couple this week. Not any full albums to delight Michelle with.
Again with the questions. And also, Little John-esque. What?
Okay.
Lord Huron has a new song called Not Dead Yet, is what it's called.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Lord Huron from Michigan, by the way, and I didn't know that when I first heard of him.
It is
Didn't Huron give it away?
No.
Weird.
Yeah. What? Because there's a lake around Michigan called Huron.
Yes.
I should have just said, obviously he's from Michigan.
She's being extra confrontational today.
How's that work with Alice Cooper?
He's a smelly pooper.
So obviously from Detroit. I want to tell everybody right now, we are looking to follow up the episode that we got a lot of praise on, the Women Who Rock episode, but it's been made clear to me that Michelle has not brought her A game for the follow-up episode.
I even took a nap and everything.
Oh, man.
Maybe that's what the problem was.
How's the pregnancy going?
Oh, boy.
And what else have you been listening to besides the new Lord Huron?
Yeah, Lord Huron from Michigan. Listen to that song. And then Mike, formerly known as Mike Stud,
Lord.
has a new song called I Don't Want to Party.
Is it off Detroit 3?
Oh, my God.
That's another one of Michelle's greatest hits. Is that a sequel? Yes. Why, yes. Ghostbusters 2 is a sequel.
Wait, he's from Detroit? No, he just named his album that for no reason.
Yeah. So a new single, though?
Yeah, it's a new single called I Don't Want to Party. It's a little bit different than what anyone who's listened to him before is familiar with, which I like. Kind of different direction.
We've talked about that a ton, too. I like any artist who wants to evolve at all. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, you can do, AC/DC's done the same thing for 45 years, but, like, I like more when artists reach out and expand. And even if you're trying, even, like, now in a singles-driven market, you can try it, like, one at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of putting out a whole record that people are like, well, that's your worst album.
Yeah, and I also, whenever, every Friday, Spotify does, like, the new release, whatever, and makes a playlist of all these new songs that have come out, or whoever pays the money to be able to put on the playlist, or that whole thing. And I always end up listening to that, and I'm 99% of the time disappointed by what I hear, unfortunately. So I ended up just finding these songs because they're recommended for me because I like the artists that have done them. That
Mike Period song is on my release radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it came out for everyone. It just didn't release to just Kyle.
You said you didn't.
There's two.
I Don't Want to Parties on mine.
No. There is two playlists that Spotify makes every Friday.
Oh, yeah. It's release radar. And
one is terrible, and one has stuff that is, I think, more pointed to the person listening to it.
Yeah,
so I must have listened to the terrible one because, and I wasn't even going to tell the story, but the other day I was down here scanning records into Discogs, and I Bluetoothed my phone to the big system, and I was trying to put on like a new release thing from Spotify because I was like, it's been a while since I've really listened to new music, and all the songs that I heard were terrible.
Yeah.
And I came upstairs, and even my wife was like, why were you listening to those terrible songs? And then she started to list off the artists and the songs that I was listening to, and I was like, none of what you just said makes sense to me.
Yeah, so like on mine, one is New Music Friday. Then the other one, that New Music Friday has 3.7 million followers or whatever, and that goes to whoever's following that. And then the other one is Release Radar, and that's catered to whoever's account it is.
Okay,
so
that's the one that
made for my Spotify name.
That's the one that I meant to listen to, apparently. Yeah, and
that's where I found the Mike Stud song, or Mike Period song, whatever you want to say.
Well, let me give you an idea of how bad the list I was listening to was. After my wife listed off all these artists and songs I've never heard of, she was like, yeah, those are all TikTok songs. And I was like, no.
God.
No,
are you sure you were not on a TikTok playlist?
Yeah, no, I'm positive. I wouldn't openly choose a TikTok playlist. So anyway, just a couple of cuts for you this week.
Yeah.
Right on. And then we'll move on to arguably the greatest thing that's ever happened in the history of podcasting, which is when Michelle comes down from on high every week to share her jammy jams with everybody. Michelle, what audiobook have you been enjoying this week?
What to expect?
Yeah. I expect that it's going to get a lot worse.
Gotcha.
I just want everyone to know that I'm stabbing Russ with my eyes.
So there was a couple weeks ago where people thought they could hear me stabbing Michelle with her eyes. This is confirmation that she is stabbing me with her eyes.
I only have two this week.
All right.
Wildflower by Tom Petty has been stuck.
Just the song?
Just the song has been stuck in my head. And when you put it on Spotify, like there's a lot of people who've recorded it, and like it'll play like different versions of the song. And then I just let that go, and I just listened to it over and over and over again.
Such a jam. Do you remember the night after he passed when we saw the Lone Bellow? do it. They closed the show with it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm not Tom Petty'd out this week.
Oh boy.
Okay, so the war between the UK and the US can cease fire now?
Just for this week.
Okay.
And then
will you please update us as you become pettied out and when you're when you're repettied?
Ooh, I should get a petty radar.
Yeah. I bet Will be happy to give you one.
I bet he has one already made up. And then Noah Cyrus did a Spotify singles for the song
I did listen
July.
to that too.
It's just a cover, like an acoustic cover of her own song, but it was really good. I really liked it.
She has another song out too that I listened to that I can't remember the name of.
It was either one or both of you have brought her up before.
Oh yeah, that she's got like a 5-song EP, whatever you call it, and a LP.
Okay, so
EP?
I feel like this is
It's an
not the
EP.
last time I'm going to explain this to you.
It's not the first time.
And it's certainly not the first. So here's how it breaks down. So you have a single, which is 2 songs. Okay, because of the format that singles were launched on, 7-inch record, you had an A-side and a B-side. So a single is 2 songs.
Yep.
Extended play is up to 5 songs because it's the 2 songs
But
that you could have the whole
extended
time.
makes me think that's a whole record.
And then long play.
That's the same thing.
Nope.
No. I assure you it's not.
We don't even have a Manscaped ad this week, and there's such a joke here. You don't know the difference between extended and long?
Show me.
We'll be right back. So that's the thing. That's how you differentiate. So you have a 7-inch record. It's got 2 songs. Generally, like 10-inch records used to have between 4 and 5 songs. Then your 12-inch record or LP or long player is the full album.
Do you remember last week when I said that Drake put out that new EP called Scary Hours and it had 3 songs on it?
Oh, I don't listen when you talk.
But I just like how she makes it sound like she's making up the term. I don't know, whatever you would call it, an EP or something like the whole music industry is just retroactively going to start using this new term Michelle made up, EP.
And also music that wasn't great. Darius Rucker put out a new song.
I almost listened to it. Not good?
That's the least ringing endorsement I've ever heard. Oh, I almost listened to it.
It's just Darius.
Yeah, in other music that's not exciting, I tried the rest of the Kings of Leon record, and
It's just there, man.
Yeah, I'm upset I bought it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it bums me out because I love to blind buy.
Which version did you get?
The red one, the red cover with like cream colored vinyl, I think.
I got cream colored vinyl.
It's the most off-putting package. Actually, I should say the music contained within matches the packaging. So if you're in a record store, if you're listening to our podcast right now and you're about to go into a record store and you see the Kings of Leon record, judge that book by its cover. It sounds like what it looks like.
Yeah, the bad thing about that is Michelle pre-ordered it, and then the pre-order was delayed, so she got to listen to it on Spotify before she actually got the record.
Something bad was about to happen.
Yeah, because the post office is great, and they were like, "It's going to be delivered on Friday," and I was like, "Sweet," and then it was like, "Just kidding, Monday," and so I was like, I'll just listen to it now.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So, but we do have a bunch of other good music to listen to. If you like 90s rock, give that Winger record a shot. Kyle's always got the new hot stuff, and Michelle is just learning about EPs.
Michelle likes music sometimes.
Yeah, and every so often, Michelle likes music. We will be back in just a couple of minutes, and when we get back, we are going to continue our discussion about women who rock. We have a whole other group of women that we're going to talk about. Some of yours that you mentioned, some that we are going to bring out to the table, and see if we can contain this to 2 parts. You're listening to the Infectious Group podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Richie.
And I'm Little Matt.
And here at the 500 Section Lounge, we have a few requirements.
First, you've got to be able to talk about anything at all.
Secondly, you need to be able to laugh, play games, and talk to some very interesting people.
From sports radio personalities to reality television contest finalists and everything in between, we talk to them all.
Yeah, it's all right here in the lounge.
So be on the lookout for what we do next.
And always be there to
grab a listen.
I'm Miles from the Disc Dump Podcast. Do you have a mountain of DVDs, games, or music that you just can't decide what to do with? I do too, and the Disc Dump Podcast is all about deciding what you want to keep and what you want to dump. Do you like trying terrible drinks?
Pumpkin pie soda. And at the bottom, it says, y'all get your fixins.
How about exploring weird ads for websites like Wish.com?
Okay, so it's one of those silicone torsos.
And you get it right on the head of the silicone torso.
Matt has an advantage on this one.
Do you want deep intellectual discussions about the finer points of music, cinema, or game design?
I have no idea where I am right now, so.
Then check out the Disc Dump Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And that's disc with a C, by the way.
Hey there, we're BFYTW Podcast. I'm Pantsless Aaron, I'm the host, and we are three silly people playing very silly games for fakey points that don't count for anything. Our permanent team captains are a veteran and a podcaster, and a veteran podcaster, it's Stevie.
Hey guys, it's Midnight Smoke here. I love being funny, goofy, and I'm here for your entertainment.
And his permanent opponent, my oldest friend and a gamer and a storyteller, it's Jorge.
Hey guys, Jorge here, HH_Empire, and I am the logical voice to this Maelstrom of Chaos sometimes.
Well, if you like silly people playing silly games, then you want to come hang out with us at BFYTW Podcast every week. That's BFYTWpodcast.com.
We are back, and we have the follow-up to a really exciting topic. And it was funny because I wasn't really sure how to even approach this for like the first year that we did the show, you know? And then out of nowhere, I just was like, oh, wait a minute, March is going to be International Women's Month. Like, that'd be great to do at least one episode on Women Who Rock. And then you guys know this, when we sat down to record last week, I was like, wait, guys, this isn't going to be a one-episode deal. And it turned out not to be. And we covered so many greats in the first episode. We talked about Stevie Nicks in the first half, Billie Holiday, Whitney Houston. We talked about so many Women Who Rock, and Nancy Wilson and Wanda Jackson, which is, I love the fact that we got someone not turned on to Wanda Jackson for the first time, but like listening to her again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome. So we're going to continue going around the table. And honestly, the format last week seemed to work just fine. We're literally just going to be like, hey, this woman rocks, and here's why. And a lot of what we said last week too is like tip of the iceberg level stuff with a lot of these women too, you know, like we're not professing to be like, and here's their entire, you know, biography. But like, for example, Michelle got schooled in a ton of Whitney Houston songs she's never heard before. There's more to her career than just I Will Always Love You, I promise.
I want to dance with somebody.
Right. Oh yeah, that as well.
Duh.
See, that should have been the other side of the single. And then if she had more hits, they could have made an EP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
an extended play. Correct.
Which sounds like it should be a full album, but it's not.
Correct. Extended.
Because a full album is what?
An LP.
And
which means
there's the learning.
Lengthy play.
Exactly.
Close enough.
Kyle, I will throw it over to you first. Throw it out there. Who's a woman who rocks?
We talked about Dolly Parton, but we did not talk about Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn's such a badass.
Yep, and for the same reasons Dolly is, because both of them came out and made it okay for a woman to stand up for herself and be a badass. And they were some of the first to do that.
Yeah.
And make it okay. And yeah, she is a certified badass.
You know, one thing about Loretta Lynn is actually it ties into something that I admire about Jack White. Is Jack White, way before we all decided that we're going to start honoring women like as a society and being like, oh, so they are equal, you know, and like Jack White was always been a champion of like unsung women in music. And really one of the big reasons why Dolly Parton made such a comeback in American consciousness is because of the White Stripes cover of Jolene.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was a huge champion of Loretta Lynn and did that song Portland, Oregon, which is the jam with Jack White and Loretta Lynn. And that album of hers was the first huge album she had in like at least 2 decades.
And it was on Third Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's done a Third Man live session and stuff. And, you know, I just love that Jack White was like, by the way, these strong ass, awesome women have been around forever. And how dare you forget them? So I think that's great. But yeah, Loretta Lynn, fantastic. Yep. And there's, I've never watched it, but there's a movie about her that was made called Coal Miner's Daughter.
Oh, I have heard of that. I have not seen it.
That's how Sissy Spacek got her break. She played Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a fantastic film. I just haven't got around to watching it just yet. Michelle, who do you got for Women Who Rock besides yourself?
Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, based on the way she broke into the industry alone, she qualifies all day long.
Yeah, and maybe this is just from when she came out and I was like young and impressionable, but there was no woman out there singing like that, like just edgy and raw on pop radio at the time. And so, not that there were women before that who opened the doors, but I just remember her being like, that's what drew me to her, is like just her raw emotions on.
Yeah, for sure. As far like, and I have her on my list for later to discuss a little further, but like Debbie Harry and Kim Deal and whatnot, like without those ladies opening the door, you don't get Alanis.
Right.
But also, she did it in such a way that was just monster. Like like in the summer of '95, man, that record was everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And she's gone on to, I think really the only huge hit she had past that first record, and correct me if I'm wrong or if either of you have a different perception, but Uninvited, I want to say is like the biggest hit she had past that. But she has a strong catalog of material, like, and a lot of it's not, we talked about this before, like evolving and growing. Like she's not always going to be an angry young woman.
Yeah, I like her new stuff, which is about her kids.
Is not Fiona Apple.
Not to be confused with Fiona Apple.
Speaking of which, that's one of those records. Her latest album gets so much praise, and I've tried it, and I know
Fiona's.
Yeah.
That's where I knew I fucked up, because I started listening to it. I was like, this is not what I was looking for.
Reasons I Drink, and he was like, what is that? Where's that? That's Fiona Apple song you were talking about. And I was like, I don't talk about Fiona Apple. She was like, you mean
Alanis Morissette? I was like, oh, damn it, that's what it was.
I've been listening to Fiona Apple for a week.
For nothing, for no reason.
For absolutely no reason. One woman that I have on my list for a couple of different reasons is Karen Carpenter. Mm-hmm. Now, Karen Carpenter, I'll tell you, here's one thing you need to do with Karen Carpenter if you've never seen this, or if somebody listening doesn't know this aspect of her. So she's known for her amazing voice, right? I mean, this woman literally, she could sing the phone book. She could sing your tax return to you, and it would be interesting.
Right.
One thing a lot of people don't know about Karen Carpenter is she was a badass drummer. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, okay, so if you go on YouTube and literally just type in Karen Carpenter drumming, any video that comes back, you'll be like, what? Like, what? And I mean like flipping sticks, like doing, she was badass.
Didn't she die in a sad way?
So, and that's the thing I wanted to cover. One thing about her, she passed away from anorexia.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And it's crushingly sad. It's one of those things where it's a warning to the music industry, that no one heeded, I want to say she passed away, and the listener can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I would say 82, 83, something like that. And then the entirety of the rest of the 80s was like, oh, but how skinny and beautiful can you be?
What do you mean the 80s? It's still happening.
No, I mean, there was not even any sort of course correction. It was like the whole rest of it.
They just continued on,
Yeah. And like, for example, we touched on this in the other episode, but like the Heart videos, when Anne put on more weight, they very famously would shoot Anne from the neck up, and then they'd make sure to do like the slow body shot on Nancy because she was thinner. And it's just like, what? And Karen Carpenter was absolutely, a gorgeous woman who no one in the world would ever consider to be anywhere near overweight, but because of the pressures of the music industry and whatnot, she just developed that disease and very sadly passed away from it. She was cardiac arrest at way too young of an age. Yeah. Again, I didn't look this up ahead of time, but I want to say early 40s.
That's crazy.
But she left a legacy. I know there's women today who want to sing anywhere near as good as Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
And it's that interpretation, that the way what you bring to a song, and she had it, and a lot of people don't even come close. And then the drum thing, just go on YouTube. Crazy. Go on YouTube. Of course, with a podcast, everything's about like listening and continuity and getting people to listen to the whole episode. I give everyone full permission right now to stop, pause the episode, go to YouTube, type in Karen Carpenter drumming, be wowed, and then come back to the episode. And then, I don't know, maybe leave us a voicemail about it. 313-394-9899. 33?
Yeah, and also it says that she was just recently buried.
I don't know anything about that.
It says in 2003 she was buried.
Huh.
So I'm assuming they moved her.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was just weird.
So that was one that I for sure wanted to knock out, like, without a doubt. Who else do you got, Kyle?
Mariah Carey.
Present your case. I don't disagree. I just go on.
I have nothing nice to say.
She's a crazy person now, but she is just as influential with music Whitney Houston is. Not to the same degree, but they have. Dude, her vocal range.
Okay, well, how do I want to say this? I'm not arguing. Her vocal range is amazing.
Her vocals.
I guess that was probably the worst reaction I could have had in an episode honoring women, so I apologize for that. But my thing is, I just don't think of her as influential at all. And it doesn't mean that I have plenty of Mariah Carey songs that I absolutely love.
This wasn't influential.
No, I know. And
she was just for a long time, she was on the forefront of women in R&B.
Oh, for sure.
She was able to reinvent her career maybe a couple times.
At least a couple times.
Yes. When she started doing work with Jermaine Dupri, so then all her music became like mainstream, like new R&B versus like the old Whitney Houston and her old stuff where she used to sing like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I'm convinced. I'm good. I just, like the Mariah Carey that recorded Vision of Love is a far different Mariah Carey that recorded like Butterfly and so on. In a good way.
Yeah. So she was able to do several different things throughout her career, to which she still is trying. I think she's actually given up now. We haven't heard from her in a while, but she had that meltdown on New Year's Eve, and that was like the last thing besides her being married to Nick Cannon that anyone cared about.
And there's a lot. She was married to Tommy Mottola for a long time, and there's a lot of music industry insiders like, and I want to be clear that this is all like he said, she said type stuff, but there's a lot to do with the hows and whys of how her career might have gone south forcibly after leaving Tommy Mottola. Actually, I don't think he knew he was being recorded. There's footage of Michael Jackson talking extensively about it, that she used to call him and be like, this is what they're doing to me. Like the industry is doing this to me. And
you mean like they blackballed her basically?
Yeah. And so you can see that Michael Jackson footage out there as well. So it's kind of questionable even what happened to her career. But she's one of those ones too, like Whitney or like Amy, where I just sit back and hope that it gets corrected.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I just hope that I want nothing more than to see a huge, awesome comeback.
And I put her on the list because I thought my stuff's not in any particular order. I tried to go like chronologically, but nothing's in any certain order. But I feel that the same girls that might have had a Whitney Houston CD in their CD book had a Mariah Carey CD in their CD book as well, for the same reasons.
Especially when Mariah launched.
Girls?
I had.
He's talking
Carey,
about
just in general
that women looked up to, or young girls would have looked up to. Who else do you have?
Did we talk about Grace Slick? Well, I know that we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about Grace Slick prior to recording last week, but I don't think we talked about her during the episode.
Air, maybe not.
I don't think we did.
Either Certified Badass.
Yeah, she was like one of the lead at the time in the music that she was making. She was like one of the lead female vocals at the time.
At the time that the Jefferson Airplane broke, like in the late 60s, you were pretty much in a sequin dress with two other women.
Yes.
And that was how you were in the industry. And then Grace Slick was like, no, bro, that's not how I look.
And I do admire her. What is she said that anyone over the age of 50 still doing rock and roll looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
Not that I think that's true, but I like that she said it. She stands by it, and she's just like.
And she just disappeared.
She's just sitting back, and I don't know what she's doing, but she's collecting money. But
the exact quote is, anybody over 50 on a rock and roll stage looks like an idiot, me included.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just threw down a Batman-style bomb and disappeared.
Oh, yeah. And you just hear some of her isolated vocals, and they give you chills. It's just, if you haven't heard it, look it up.
Intense woman.
Yes.
One I want to give almost an honorable mention because her career is nowhere near, having in the past, Kelly Clarkson. I think Kelly Clarkson is amazing. I think her vocals are, I think Kelly Clarkson, she won American Idol and everything, but I think she's a far better expression with her vocals than people even realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that woman can sing. But one thing that I love is she has her talk show now. She's always like super positive, trying to put fun and positivity out in the world instead of, she could very much do a show that's, controversial and talking about bad topics and whatever's hot. And she doesn't do that. Like, everything she does is super positive. I think we're going to get a very sour record from her next, though, having just went through a divorce. She's probably got a lot of things to work out, but we'll see. I think her material is fantastic, and I think her voice is great. Another one that I want to mention, maybe not because I don't know a ton of detail on her, but she's just amazing, is Annie Lennox. Most notably, she came to light through the Eurythmics, but why Walking on Broken Glass? All of her.
Walking on Broken Glass is a jam.
Oh, Lord. Oh, what a jam.
Yeah.
And then if you want to see another great highlight from her, go on YouTube again. She was involved in the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in 1991. Her and David Bowie did Under Pressure. And you're playing on Freddie Mercury's home court, and she absolutely filled Freddie's shoes.
She killed it
wonderfully. So there's a couple that I want to mention. And actually, you know what? I'm going to get one more out of the way that's from that same era. Natalie Merchant from the 10,000 Maniacs.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The 10,000 Maniacs, fantastic band, but really it's all about Natalie. And then you have a song, arguably the 10,000 Maniacs' biggest hit was Because the Night, which is a Bruce Springsteen song that was made more famous than when Springsteen released it by Patti Smith. Another, like Mike gave the shout out to Patti Smith, another woman who rocks. Patti Smith had a great cover with it, and then Natalie Merchant absolutely defined that song. And the intensity with which she sings that song, holy cow. Just fantastic woman. In her solo record, Tiger Lily is
I was going to say,
wonderful.
I think that I know more about her solo career than I do. Like, I know of 10,000 Maniacs, but...
Yeah. And 10,000 Maniacs they were very, had a run of alternative before alternative was a big deal. And so hits-wise, they only had a handful of hits because the night blew them up. And then, at least solo record is fantastic. Who else you got?
Kate Bush.
Oh, yeah. Side note, do you know who discovered Kate Bush?
I do not.
David Gilmour from the Pink Floyd.
Huh.
You can always bring it back to Pink Floyd.
I can always bring it back to Pink Floyd.
Kate Bush is a name that I've known, but I don't know anything much about her.
She's huge in the UK.
Yes,
she's like this side of a religion in the UK.
I think a lot of people were turned on to her that wouldn't normally be turned on to her here because Tupac talked about her a lot. And he was like very, very into her, and like she influenced him a lot. Which is weird.
Well, that gives me something in my arsenal now. If somebody ever goes, can you bring Tupac back to Pink Floyd? Why, yes, I can.
6 Degrees of Pink Floyd?
Yeah. Yes. We should do that series of episodes.
Yeah.
But she was just very influential. More, I would maybe behind the scenes singer-songwriter type stuff than sticking up for women's rights and that kind of thing. But she's important.
And we do have listeners in several other countries, and so it's funny that like we're scratching the surface with her. Like I guarantee you, there's listeners in other countries that are like, because she's legend outside the U.S. Just absolute legend.
No, I know people who like are diehard fans and love her, and not that I don't know anything about her.
Right. Who else do you got, Michelle?
Carole King.
Oh yeah, she's on my list. I mean,
how can we not mention her name? Did we discuss if Tapestry was her first record?
I don't believe it was.
Okay.
But oh Lord, I mean, it reads like a greatest hits.
It does, and I don't know.
And then you have stuff like "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?" When you realize she wrote that song. But in Carole King, now, okay, so here's my thing with her: influential as all get out. Every woman you talk to in music will tell you that Carole King was a driving force. In some way.
So that's kind of why I mentioned Mariah, because she was not really influential like how you're mentioning
Carole King.
Carole King is or was.
She still is.
Well, yes, but not Mariah Carey stayed in her own lane, and she was very, very good at it.
Right.
Whereas Carole King, like you're mentioning, she actually pushed forward and made other people become better singers, songwriters, and so on.
Yeah. One that I want to mention offhand, and we don't need to get into how much you don't like this band, but Beth Gibbons from Portishead, stunning woman.
You could have just said the first part, and I'd be like, okay. I would have no idea who it was just from Portishead.
Beth Gibbons is one of the most intense female performers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Have you ever seen Fiona Apple?
I've only had the pleasure of seeing Portishead one time in concert, and she would sing songs like Only You, and like every male in the audience would feel guilty about like everything they've ever done in their life just from her delivery of the lyrics. I saw that show probably 22, 23 years ago, and I still feel bad about standing there being like, I think I did something wrong today.
You probably did.
Yeah, I mean, she just was intense as all get out. If you like Portishead, focus in on that second album, or more importantly, the live album that came out after it, and listen to Beth Gibbons just be intense as all get out. Who else do you got, Kyle?
Bjork.
Bjork's one of those ones I've never liked anything she's ever done.
I don't particularly like her or listen to her, but she's
Sugar
one
Cubes
of
are not like, I don't like her in Sugar Cubes, and I don't like her solo.
She's
her band
one of the,
before she went solo.
She's one of the few people, like, I think she might have been like the precursor to Lady Gaga as far as like being able to be weird and like do this outlandish stuff.
I think Cyndi Lauper was driving that train.
Yes, and she's on my list too.
Bjork's probably in the...
Yeah.
Just as a side note, I gave you that look because I thought you said I don't like her or her pubes.
Yes. Well, I mean, I did say that, but then I also mentioned her band, the Sugar Cubes.
And then you said Sugar Cubes.
While you just mentioned that, we can just mention Cyndi Lauper as well, because she was on the forefront of being able to say things that weren't okay for women to say.
Dude, and I'm not sure if this is where you're going with it, but this woman had 3 huge hits off of her first record. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which was a cover, Time After Time, which she wrote, and She Bop. And do you know what She Bop's about?
Yes.
Masturbation.
Yes. And then she's just like, watch me take this to the top 10.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is that before that, it wasn't, women kind of had to stay in their pretty little lane, and even though women did that, no one ever talked about it
in the mainstream.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, but so she made that popular and okay to do.
I think for me, Patti Smith breaks down a lot of walls in the 70s. Debbie Harry comes through and kicks some more bricks down, and then Cyndi Lauper goes, all right, I'm going to take that wagon and move it over to the mainstream now. And I love Cyndi Lauper's debut record. It's called She's So Unusual. Like, I just love that. You know, like, if you're going to look, I'll tell you what you're going to think ahead of time. You know, I think there's a lot of nuance in that title to me. Throw out another one, Kyle. Who else you got?
Let's go with Salt and Pepper.
Oh, for sure.
For all the reasons that you can think of. They,
by the way, all three members of Salt and Pepper.
Yes.
I know they keep trying to forget that Spinderella was involved in their group.
But I don't know why she never comes up when they're mentioned.
And was completely left out of their movie.
Yes, but she's an integral part of their existence. They wouldn't be.
You're going to talk about DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah,
Cut creator, Jam Master Jay, and then Spinderella is going to be in that discussion.
Yes.
That's a team, and one of them is a woman.
They also push the boundaries with being able to talk, like sexy talk, as far as it being in music and it being okay for women to talk like that. There wouldn't be Nicki Minaj or Megan Thee Stallion if Salt and Pepper didn't exist.
Oh, yeah, not by a long shot.
Same with Queen Latifah and anybody in that MC Light,
yeah.
any of that
stereo.
all those ladies pushed it far enough to where now we are able to have who we have today.
And we've talked about this before too. And I like, for me, influence and looking back on how you got where you are. Like I've talked about before, that like Michael Jackson got as good as he got because he was very open about the fact that he loved a Jackie Wilson or a James Brown and wanted to do what they did or better if possible. And I think that that's what's missing from a lot of the current music is everybody wants to act like there's some sort of original. I would highly encourage a lot of these young women getting into rock or rap to look back at Lil' Kim and MC Light and Queen Latifah. Great call out. You know, if you think that you can have free speech as a woman in rap without Queen Latifah releasing UNITY, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Or if you think that you're going to, every young woman who's spinning records anywhere, if you think that you're getting into that without Spinderella having done it for you 30 years earlier, you're just wrong.
And I skipped a generation. I forgot to even mention Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim. They were before Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj, and it's all
a little further down the line. Yep. Michelle, who else you got?
The Chicks.
I could see that. I almost gave you the Kyle response about Mariah Carey, but I, based on his argument for Mariah Carey, I will carry it over to.
I just think, I'm not saying that they opened the doors,
but they
were
known as Dixie.
That they opened the door for it, but they very much stand up for what they believe in, and they will tell anybody who wants to listen. They don't really care.
Right. You could race that.
They were also blackballed for saying whatever they wanted to say.
Yeah. You know who helped them with their legal fees when nobody else wanted to touch them in the music industry?
John Mayer.
Prince.
Oh.
Yep.
Not John Mayer.
Yeah. Close. So, with the Dixie Chicks, you could rest the entire case for them. Sorry, you could rest the entire case for what you said about them in a complimentary way about like with the song "Not Ready to Make Nice."
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, where they were quite literally like, "Okay, well, go to hell."
Yeah,
you know,
like in their career started out with just I feel like kind of bubblegum country, you know, like it was, but then they've grown into women who just speak their mind.
Oh, no, absolutely. So. I'm going to knock out another couple here that, like I said, I don't have a ton of detail on, but I think I'd be remiss if we didn't mention them. Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, my God, yes.
Amazing voice. And if you want to know what a badass she was, there's a documentary called The Sound of My Voice. Recently, I think it was released last year.
I feel like we've mentioned this
We've
before.
mentioned it, and it is a fantastic documentary. If you really want to get an idea of a woman that just kicked the doors down of the boys club and was like,
Blue Bayou is one of my favorite songs of any genre that exists ever.
When Will I Be Loved? I mean,
nope.
It's just fantastic. Yeah. And, Linda Ronstadt, Dusty Springfield. Come on now. And what's funny with Dusty Springfield, she's one of those ones where I've told you guys very famously, I didn't know who Fleetwood Mac was till I was like 10. And then I was like, oh, look at this new band, Fleetwood Mac. Dusty Springfield has a great song with the Pet Shop Boys called What Have I Done to Deserve This? It came out probably 85, 86. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that Dusty Springfield girl can sing. Like, good on them for finding her. You know, it turns out she had done Dusty in Memphis about 30 years before that. And that's one of those records that every album collector has to have Dusty in Memphis in their collection, and I didn't buy it until like 2 years ago, and I just hoped no one looked for it. It just wasn't
Well,
in
now
my
you just
collection.
outed yourself.
Yeah, well, no, it's there now.
I know, but nobody would have been any the wiser.
And that's another thing, too. Quentin Tarantino is fantastic with showing women the respect that they deserve. And he relaunched her entire career with Son of a Preacher Man in Pulp Fiction. There were so many people who had never even heard of her, let alone that song, and totally reinvented her to a new audience. Janis Joplin, I think, deserves mention.
She was another one on my list.
Just badass.
I figured she'd be on yours.
Yeah. And again, with Janis, I'm not a huge fan. Like, she doesn't do a lot of music that I love.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to not respect Janis Joplin?
No,
She's OD'd, right?
She's part of the 27 Club, man.
Yeah, 27 Club for sure. I don't know if it was alcohol or drugs, but it was absolutely a controlled substance ending.
Also, I don't know why I keep talking about when people died today.
It's unfortunate, but it is that way. Who else do you have, Kyle?
Lizzie Hale, which was mentioned by a listener, but also on my list.
So Lizzie, you know what? One thing I want to talk about with Lizzie Hale, and again, not my taste. Like, I don't like Hailstorm, but Lizzie Hale is always giving respect and big ups to like the people that she exists because of. Like, for example, you guys know I'm a huge Cinderella and Tom Kiefer fan. Well, she's had Tom Kiefer involved in their records, like, and she did a cover of a Cinderella song and had him on it, like, and that might not be considered a cool move. You know, like most people would be like, who the hell is Tom Kiefer? You know, like, from Cinderella, really? From Cinderella? And she's like, yeah, that's my dude. You know,
there are not very many female lead singers of rock bands that, especially today, that when you think about them, they stand out because there's so few of them. If Hailstorm is your kind of music, she kicks ass. Like, she kicks 10 kinds of ass doing what she does.
And if you're like, I don't know anything about this band, if you go look for Hailstorm and look up the song Miss the Misery, right when that starts, you'll be like, oh, well, that woman can wail.
Or if you don't know who Hailstorm is, then Kyle will just play it for you for like 3 hours straight when you mention that you don't know who they are. So,
which is a service Kyle provides.
I was making her listen to isolated vocals of Lizzie Hale.
Nice.
I did like just shut myself in the bathroom, turn the fan on, and just be like, I'm pooping.
Solid. Do you got a few more?
Yeah, another one to go along with that is Amy Lee, which is also mentioned by a listener, but it was also on my list because the pipes on her.
The live version of My Immortal.
Yes, whether you like Evanescence or not, or her solo stuff or not, her vocal range, my God, she gives me goosebumps.
I remember when they broke, and again, I wasn't like all about them, but I didn't hate them. And then when I heard the live version of My Immortal, I was like, oh, it turns out I'm an Evanescence
told you
fan.
he liked her.
Huh?
You're like, I know that you and Russ don't like Amy Lee, but I do.
And
I was like, I'm pretty sure Russ does.
Amy Lee's okay, so I don't like their biggest hit is probably the and there's no way I can do this without making fun of it. So Wake Me Up, which song is terrible.
So he played the isolated vocals for just her for that song, and I was like, oh, this is fine. And then they have that part in it, Wake Me Up, and I was like, that's when that's literally the part where I went in the bathroom. It was after that.
You got to put your boyfriend on some songs, which is what she did with that.
I know that you both don't like Stained. I thought you both did not like Evanescence as well. I was wrong.
But again, I'm not professing I'm like a huge fan of theirs, but that was My Immortal's the thing where I was like, yes, especially the live version where it does the kick in at the end.
Yeah, just like Lizzie Hale, she kicks 10 kinds of ass doing what she does. And my God, she plays the piano and can sing her ass off.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else do you got, Michelle?
I only have one more, and I don't remember if we mentioned it.
Okay, go.
Amy Winehouse?
I think
I'm almost positive
we briefly mentioned her in the last episode. It was like a we'll get to her type thing. But yeah, I mean, come on.
Because didn't we talk about her biopic? It's a sad story, but she's
same thing as Whitney.
Yeah.
And but Amy though, I mean, for me personally, and you know this, I'm never the I like their old stuff guy, but like everybody I know owns Back to Black. You've got to check out the album Frank if you haven't heard the album.
It's so good.
Holy Lord Almighty! To me, the reason why Amy Winehouse is displayed all across Frank. Like I think it's a far better record than Back to Black is, and intense performer. I never get her and Whitney I never got to see perform live. Man, I really wanted to see Amy. It was kind of a crapshoot. From what I understand, it was like Elvis from like 75 77. Like you either got an amazing show or like you got, this is why the headlines are this way about this person. Like, but the shows that were amazing near the end
she just didn't give a shit, which is like it ended up being her demise, but it also made her great.
Right. Exactly. Well, there you go. Is that where you're heading?
Wait, no, I already don't give a shit.
Two that I'm going to mention back to back that are very quick mentions for me. By no means are these people that are not fantastic or don't have a huge impact. But Debbie Harry, I talked about a little bit earlier, and then Tina Turner. Come on.
Yep.
Tina Turner should be the model for how to overcome everything that's wrong with not only the music industry, but like a bad marriage and so on and so forth. And then not only come out on top, but come out on top several times.
Yeah. And then I think that her career has been bogged down by all the Ike and Tina stuff. And that's all anyone ever references now when they talk about Tina Turner, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit with Whitney too.
And Tina's another one. Yeah. And Tina's another one for me too. Again, where when as a kid, I heard What's Love Got to Do with It. And I'm like, oh, that woman's great. Like I've never heard of this woman before. Then you go back and you're like, oh. Another one that we absolutely cannot forget to mention is Aretha Franklin.
Yep.
I mean,
yes.
Damn.
Yeah, Queen of Soul, influential. We talked about whether or not. Well, we agree Mariah is influential. Like Mariah absolutely would not be a singer without Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Mariah, Whitney, Amy. There's so many other women that would never have picked up a microphone if it wasn't for Aretha Franklin. I have two more that I want to talk about fairly quickly, but one's kind of a special deal that I want to mention. But that's what I have. Do you have any others that you want to bring up?
I have one more that back in the day when I was really into like heavy metal and stuff, and there was no women like in that genre whatsoever. But there was a band called Kitty, and it's like 7 girls and 1 dude or something like that.
I saw them in concert once.
Yeah, and man, they kicked ass, and they were the only ones that were doing that. And so when I was looking up their music and whatnot to talk about it on this episode, I seen that there's a ton of metal acts now that have women lead singers, but no one ever talks about them. Yeah. There's at least 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like they just get pushed to the wayside. It's crazy to me. But yeah, Kitty, if you go and listen, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but damn, I grew up listening to that.
Yeah, they're extremely influential within their circles.
Yes.
I mean, they never really set the world on fire, but what they do is not for mainstream anyways. The last two that I was going to mention, and they're both gargantuan for different reasons, and one we don't even need to go into great detail about because she's so contemporary, is Taylor Swift. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
She's done more for women in music in the past, 15 years than anyone else has done in the past 15 years.
Absolutely.
Up into including the 2 most recent releases that set the bar for. A lot of times when people do these surprise releases, the material's not quite up to snuff, and it's just like, that's what you're getting. The surprise release is done to give the album some sort of splash, and then it has no longevity. And people will be talking about, at the very bare minimum, people will be talking about folklore for the next decade.
For sure.
Her sticking up to the record label and the music industry in general kind of reminds me of what Pink did. You just have to be a certain kind of person to be able to go up against a giant conglomerate and be like, no, this is how it's going to go. And if not, then too bad.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. It's like no one could get away with that. The only person who could get away with it is her.
For the longest time, how you couldn't get any of her music on streaming is because she was just like, nope, that's not happening until you pay me what I deserve to be paid.
And the hope is, we talked about before, where people not open doors for other people. The hope is that her going through this makes it easier for someone in the future to go through it. And, someone's got to do it first, and she's doing it. The other one that I want to mention, and Mike Downing actually mentioned her in his voicemail, is Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt has an amazing voice. She's been influential like you wouldn't believe in across several genres, pop, rock, blues. She's a hell of a blues guitarist and really, really respected within that circle, which is absolutely a boys club. If you ask anybody to name their top 10 blues guitarists, it's going to be man. And Bonnie Raitt is in that discussion of great blues guitar players. And the reason why I want to mention her with respect to her guitar playing is Bonnie Raitt absolutely went out and put her money where her mouth is. She has an entire line of signature guitars, which everybody does. Clapton's got a signature Strat, everybody, and these are all $2,000-$3,000 guitars. She on purpose made a line of guitars that were smaller in scale, specifically for young women to learn the guitar easier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is, and they're not overpriced like they absolutely could be, but they're to her spec, just smaller, so young women can get into the instrument without having all the difficulties of just trying to find good equipment that's, might be too big for them or whatever. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. That is awesome.
I have one more. I just thought about it.
Okay, but again, it can't be you.
Kesha.
I thought you were going to be like, never mind that. Oh yeah, Kesha.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kesha, I would say Kesha, there was like some press about her struggles in the industry.
Yeah, she got blackballed too, essentially, with all that shit that happened. Yeah.
And she keeps on.
She keeps on, man. And it's hard for women to stand up for certain things in your life, and she did it and she didn't care.
I've never heard anything about that. You'll have to tell us about that.
I'll tell you about it off air.
Right, appreciate it. So, like we said at the top of this discussion last week, I don't think any of us think this is anywhere near a definitive list.
Oh no, there's tons of people that we're forgetting and not mentioning, and I mean,
tell us who we forgot.
And there's so many of these women too that literally the bullet points we listed were like the tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
for what they've done. And also leave us some voicemails about how wrong I was in my reaction about Mariah Carey. That's fine too.
I actually couldn't even after you said that. I didn't even know what to say.
I was
like stumbling over my words.
As that whole thing was happening,
what
I was
is he talking about right
I'm
now?
gonna have to edit this a lot.
I was like, never mind.
When the audience hears it, they're going to be like, "What are they talking about?" Just know that there was a lot of silence.
There was like 3 minutes where nothing happened.
So leave us your feedback. You can text us or leave us a voicemail at 313-364-9899 if you just want to list off the reasons why Michelle does qualify as a woman who rocks. Or
why wouldn't I?
Again, you know what? We'll make that next week's topic. No, for next week's topic, the cool thing is we all decided we are going to take on cancel culture. We're going to fix it. The three of us are going to discuss it until it's fixed.
Okay.
And this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I wasn't quite sure how to do it, and it's absolutely a hot topic right now because of the things going on with Eminem and any number of other things. But we'll try and keep it music focused because if I go off on other topics, we'll be here for like another 4 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Here's our 50th episode on cancel culture.
yeah. We're going to keep going. We're going to do a protest. We're going to keep going on this topic until it's over. So, like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Kosalecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.